Hello, welcome back. So in the last part we have completed up to step number 170. So now we will move on to our next step or next part. Before moving on to the practical step, let me just give you the idea what we will be doing in this particular part. We will be installing our virtual machine, Windows 11 operating system's virtual machine on our ESX host 02. So through ESX host 02 we will be installing our virtual machine through our vCenter web console. Okay, and once that virtual machine is installed, we will configure it for our network connectivity and we will configure it for our RDP connectivity. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. So next step is through our vCenter server main web console, right click on our VMFS data store and click new virtual machine. So I will come back here. And we'll come back to our DC system. And this is our main data store, the common data store. I will right click on it and I will say new virtual machine. Okay, so this new virtual machine wizard will start. Let's see what are the options available. So on create a new virtual machine prompt, select a creation type wizard. We need to select the first option, create a new virtual machine. So I'll come back here. You can see there are different options available over here. Create a new virtual machine, deploy from template, clone from existing virtual machine, clone virtual machines to template, convert template to virtual machine, and clone template to template. Okay, so as of now we are selecting the first option, create a new virtual machine, and I will say next. So next is on select a name and folder prompt, provide appropriate name and location for new virtual machine and click next. So I will just type the name over here, WIN11CL. You can give any appropriate name. By default it is taking the location as my ESX lab data center, so this is fine. In case if you are having multiple data centers, it will show you the list of those data centers, then you can choose the appropriate one. But as of now we are only having one data center, right? So let it be like that only. I will say next. So next step is we need to select a compute resource. That means we need to select a ESX host which will actually host this particular virtual machine. So we will be choosing ESX host 02 and click next. So why ESX host 02? Because our vCenter servers VM is already running on ESX host 01. So second VM we will be hosting on ESX host 02, just to make a balancing for this one and make sure that only one host is not getting overloaded. So as of now I'm choosing ESX host 02. Say next. So next is on select storage prompt, select VMFS DS as our VM storage and click next. So as I said, currently we are having only one data store, VMFS_DS. So we are choosing that one only. Okay, so again in a production environment, if you are having multiple data stores, it will give you the list and you can choose the particular data store to hold your VM. As of now our only VMFS data store, only single data store is available, so let it be like that. I will say next. So next is we need to select the compatibility, that is hardware compatibility version from VMware's hypervisor perspective. So I will not change anything over here since this VMX compatibility uh, 21 is the latest version, so I don't have to change anything over here. I will say next. Now next is we need to select the guest OS prompt and provide values as shown in the sideline figure and click next. Now in this particular step there is a small catch over here or small workaround. I can choose Windows over here and I can choose Windows 11 64-bit. This is an ideal situation because we are installing Windows 11 64-bit. But once I am selecting this, now see what it is showing. Microsoft Windows 11 64-bit requires a virtual TPM device which cannot be added to this virtual machine because the vSphere environment is not configured and everything with a key provider and everything. So what is a workaround? I will not choose Windows, I will say other, and here I'm not able to see my Windows 11 also. So what I'm doing is I'm just selecting other 64-bit. Sorry, other 64-bit. So other 64-bit. This is a small workaround over here, and here I need to give this guest OS name. So this is just a generic name as per my choice. Windows 11 version 23H2 and x 64-bit. Okay. So again I'm saying if this Windows 11 is requiring that TPM and other things, so you can skip that one and have a workaround and you can choose other and other 64-bit. Okay, now I will say next. So next is on customize hardware prompt, provide the values as shown in sideline figure and click next. Now here we need to customize our virtual machines, virtual hardware, okay, as per your choice. So CPU, let it be one CPU, that should be enough. Memory, we will make it as 16 GB, okay, because Windows 11 machine requires that much RAM, so minimum is 8 GB I think, but that's fine, so we'll choose it 16 GB. Hard disk, we will make it as 100 GB, okay. And here the SCSI controller we need to choose as LSI logic SAS, okay, because if you are choosing any other SCSI controller, it was giving an error for me for some reason, so I'm just choosing LSI logic SAS. So this is how you can configure your hardware. Now rest of the part we can change later on. So as of now I'm saying next. So next is on ready to complete prompt, verify the Windows 11 VM summary and click finish. So here we can verify the summary, our virtual machine name Windows 11CL, folder is ESX Lab data center, that is your default data center. Host which will be hosting this particular virtual machine is ESX host 02. Then data store is VMFS data store, our default data store. Then compatibility is latest version, so this is fine. Guest OS we have changed deliberately to other 64-bit for bypassing that TPM requirement. Then virtualization based security is disabled, CPU 1, memory 16 GB, NIC default NIC, VM network is default, and hard disk capacity is 100 GB, and this SCSI controller is LSI logic SAS. So everything looks okay. I will say finish over here. Okay, now if I'm clicking on VMs, it will show me my new virtual machine. Let's go back to our next step. So Next step is back to the main vCenter web console. Click on VMs and right click on your newly created virtual machine and click edit settings. So here I will right click on this VM and I will say edit settings. Windows 11 CL VM edit settings. Next is we need to map our Windows 11 virtual machines ISO, Windows 11 ISO, which we have copied in the previous step, right, on our CD DVD drive of our VM setting. Okay, so what I will do is we need to go to the settings, CD DVD drive, data store ISO file, select your Windows 11 ISO, enable the option so that it will connect at the power on, and click OK twice. So what I'm doing is practically I'll just maximize this first. You scroll down over here and remember, if this particular arrow is pointing towards your right side, that means it is having some sub options available below it. So I'm just clicking on it, so you can see over here these options are there. Okay, CD, DVD, media and everything is there. So what I'm doing is, again I'm clicking on client device and selecting data store ISO file. Okay, so here it is showing me the data store. I will click on that and now it will auto detect the .iso type and this is my ISO. If you have uploaded the multiple ISOs, it will show multiple ISOs, so you can choose whatever you want to. And then as of now I'm selecting this one. I will say OK. Okay, so now our ISO is also mapped. Okay, so you can see over here the CD DVD media, it is showing my Windows 11 ISO file, right? Sorry, it is giving some this thing. Okay, so this is my ISO path. Okay, if I am scrolling down like this, now it is showing the ISO. Okay, but don't click on OK. As of now, this option is equally important, connect at power on. Okay, so enable this, because once we are starting our VM, this ISO should be connected to our VM to boot from that ISO. Okay, now I will say OK over here, and now you can see that this VM is still powered off. Let's move on to the next step. So next step is, now we need to right click and power on this particular virtual machine. So power on. And if I'm double clicking on it now, so I'm clicking on this particular VM now, and you can see that it is showing me the console and it has already booted from our ISO. So I'm clicking on this. Okay, so it will give me a browser type of a console. Now here one particular adjustment you need to make, because my mouse is not working inside the web console of my VM, so I'm using my keyboard over here. So I will first of all click inside and I will press tab one more time up to the point that I have selected the next, and then hit enter, and then I need to hit enter one more time to go for the install now option. Hit enter. So setup is starting. Now I have to choose I don't have a product key option. Next, now I have to choose my licensing agreement, and next I have to choose the custom. Next, it is showing my virtual hard disk as 100 GB. I will say next, and now let it install. Okay, so coming back to our PPT, so we have started our virtual machine, and once this is started, we need to open the console and install the Windows 11 Enterprise x64 OS as usual. So this is going on as of now, right? So it will take some time to install. Let it install, and then once this is completed, I will come back to you with the next step. So our Windows 11 OS installation is about to complete now. You can see over here, it's getting ready. Let it complete, then I will come back to you. Alright, so our Windows 11 OS installation has completed the first phase. Now I'm just completing my next phase over here for choosing my region. It will take some time because my mouse is still not working on the web browser, right? Okay, I will see. Yes. So keyboard method is English India, that's fine. Skip. So as of now I'm choosing I don't have internet. Just completing this setup, and once this is completed I'm coming back to you. Okay, so finally our Windows 11 OS is installed and ready, but you can still see that I cannot control the mouse. But anyways, we will move on to the next step and we will resolve this issue also. Okay, so let's go back to our PPT. So next step is once Windows 11 VM OS installation finishes through our system, we need to download the remote console from the below link. So https, then the VMware official website, and download VMRC, that is virtual machine remote console. Okay, and once this is downloaded, I will go for the next step also. We need to install this VMware remote console on our DC system. Okay, so what I'm doing is over here, I will come back here and let this particular window as it is. I will close this. Our VM will keep running in the background, so we don't have to worry about it. Now on our Windows 2022 DC system, I will come back to my desktop, and through my DC VM, go to the settings of it, and in the CD DVD drive, let's say VMware Tools ISO is already there, right? So I will cancel this, come back to my DC system, minimize this, and go to your Explorer, and here in the other tools you can see that VMware VMRC is already downloaded. I have already downloaded previously, so I will say yes. So this will install our VMware remote console tool on our DC system. Okay, now this tool will help us out to take a remote console of our virtual machine. Okay, so these are some dependencies from the VMware VM so that we can access our virtual machine appropriately. Okay, so our setup has been started. So I will say next. It's a straightforward setup. I don't want to enable these options. I will say install. Say finish. Okay, so our VMRC console has been installed. Let's move on to the next step. So next step is through our vCenter server web console ESX host 02 VMs. Go to your Windows 11 VM console, guest OS console, and click on launch remote console open link. So now since VMRC is installed, we can access our Windows 11 virtual machine more appropriately. So here I will say launch remote console and then open link. So now you can see it is opening our virtual machine through our VMware remote console. Okay, now it will give some certificate error. I will say connect anyway. That's fine. And now you can see I have opened the console through VMRC console. Okay, this is VMRC console, but still my overall mouse movement is not up to the mark. I cannot move it as frequently as I would want to, as appropriately as I would want to. But still VMRC is giving you some option to access your VM. Okay, let's go back to our PPT. So this step we have already completed. We have connected our VM through VMRC remote console. Okay, now next point is we need to install VMware tools on our Windows 11 Enterprise 23H2 x64 VM, right? Guest operating system console. Click on edit settings and map VMware tools ISO. Okay, so what I'm doing is over here I need to work around a simple thing over here. I will first go to my main console DC and here I'll go to settings. First of all, I will unmap this ISO. Okay. So, okay. So let it be like that. I will unmap my ISO. I will remap some other ISO. Let's say as of now, this is a small workaround we have to do. So I will say okay, let it be. So it will free up our VMware ISO. Now what I will do is I will come back to my desktop and here I will copy my VMware tools ISO. Okay, this is the ISO we need to copy. So I will say copy and here I'll minimize this, close everything. Here I will paste it. Now everything I'm showing you as a manual way, so it may take some time, some steps you may not understand at the first attempt. Always pause the video, reverse it and see it again. Okay, so our VMware tools has been, this ISO has been copied locally. What I'm doing is I'm coming back here and into the data store. I'm uploading this VMware tools ISO also. Okay, files, upload files, and this VMware tools ISO. Okay, why I'm uploading this? Because I want to map it to my Windows 11 CL machine. Okay, so it will take another minute or so. Okay, so this is completed now, and now I will go to the VMs and the Windows 11 CL, edit settings, and into the data store ISO file, I will say data store ISO file, and I will say browse, and now I will choose this VMware tools Windows. Okay, I will say OK over here, and one more time OK. Okay, so now coming back to our screen, let me see if I can control the virtual machine. Let's see. So here I've just maximized it and I'm using my keyboard and using my tab option, and now I'm choosing my DVD drive. Okay, and here I will start the setup of my VMware tools. Okay, I will say yes over here. It is preparing for my VMware tools installation. After the preparation, it will start my setup. First one is next, then choose the complete next. Install. Okay, by the time it is installing, we will see what our PPT says. Okay, so we are currently doing the step number 185, install VMware tools on Windows 11 VM and restart it once as prompted. So I'm coming back here. It is about to complete. See, I cannot control the mouse, but it's okay. After installing the VMware tools, I should control it. You can see it's completed. Finish, and it is asking for restart. I will restart it. Okay, after the restart, it should give us some kind of a control for our mouse. So you can see over here, this is still this VM we are accessing still from our VMRC console. Okay. Okay. So now you can see I can control this mouse somewhat now, right? After the VMware tools installation. So I'm just logging with my local user, which we have created during our OS installation. Okay. So somehow now this VM I can access more appropriately through my mouse. Okay. So let it log in. By the time it is logging, let's go back to our PPT. Okay, so log into Windows 11 VM through our local user using VMRC. So this is what we have just done. Okay, now you can see over here, this is my Windows 11 console through VMRC. Okay, so don't get confused. If I'm minimizing this, it is coming back to my Windows 2022 DC main system. Although this DC is also a remote desktop connection, so that's fine. I'm coming back here. Okay, and now let's go back to our PPT. So next step is disable your Windows firewall on Windows 11 VM. So now you can see my mouse is more appropriately moving now. I'll go to the run and open the control panel. And here I will say small icons and Windows Defender firewall, and turn Windows Defender firewall on or off. So I will say on off both the ones, off. Okay, I will say okay. Why do we require? Because now we are connecting this machine to our domain. Okay, coming back to our PPT. So next step is we need to assign one appropriate IP to our Windows 11 VM. Okay, so I will come back to my VM. I will go to the network and internet settings. I'll click on Ethernet and then IP assignment, edit, choose from DHCP to manual, IP4, don't enable IP6 as of now. 192.168.1.43. This is one preferable IP I'm just giving. You can give any available IP. If you are having a DHCP server, it should automatically take in your infra. If you want to give for the manual IP, then you can give whatever you want to. 255, 255, 255, 0. But make sure that you are giving a correct IP which is suiting your domain controllers network subnet. Okay, and here I will give my DC IP as my default gateway and same IP to my DNS also. Okay, now I will say save. So now we have given a appropriate IP configuration on our Windows 11CL. Okay, don't get confused between these two consoles. This is Windows 11CL through VMRC and this is our main RDP session, okay, of Windows 2022 DC. Now next step is we need to join our Windows 11 VM to our domain esxlab.local domain. Okay, so I will come back here and now there is a shortcut key Windows and pause that will give us a system properties window. I'll go to the advanced system setting, just adjust. Here I'll go to computer name and change, and here I will give the computer name and I will join to the domain. Now it should take. Now it's asking for username password, that means it has taken our domain. So let's put in our ESX admin account password and then our password for ESX admin. Now it has taken. Welcome to our esxlab.local domain. I will say OK. I will say close, and I will say restart now. Okay, so let it restart. By the time we will move on to our next step. So next step, once this VM gets restarts, we will log in to Windows 11 VM using our ESX admin domain account. Now you can see it has been restarted. Now I will maximize this first. I will say other user, and here you can see signing to ESX lab. So I will give ESX admin password, username and password. So let's come back to our PPT by the time. So next step is, once this is logged in with our ESX admin, we need to add our ESX admin domain account in local admin group of Windows 11 VM. Okay, so let it complete. So now it is loaded. So I will maximize this. I will come back here and then I will go back to my computer management option. Right click on your start menu, computer management, local users and groups, administrator, and now I will say add, and you can see the location is our esxlab.local domain, and then ESX admin, check name ESX admin. I will say OK. You can see over here this has been added. Apply. OK. Okay, so let's move on to our next step. So next step is we need to enable the RDP access for our Windows 11 VM. So I'll go back to my DC system, and this is our still VMRC console for Windows 11. So I will close this and I will go to the system properties. Remember, this is Windows 11 console we are accessing from Windows 2022 DC. Now from system console, scroll down and go to advanced system settings, and here there is an option called remote. Okay, so as of now it is by default don't allow the remote connections. Okay, so I will choose allow remote connections. Okay, and remove this option, allow only from computers running remote desktop and network. So you can connect to the from the older machines also. Okay, so I will say apply. Okay, and one more thing, we need to check whether our Windows firewall is disabled or not, because most probably it will block your traffic. So see, domain networks is still on, so I will disable it. Okay. Okay, so now remote desktop has been enabled. Let's move on to the next step. So next step is log in to Windows 11 VM through your RDP session. through ESX admin domain account from Win 2022 DC or Windows 2022 base system. Okay, so what I'm doing is coming back here and let's see whether I can log in through my main system, that is my Windows 2022 base system. Okay, I'm giving IP. Now it is asking me for the credentials. And it should work now. Now you can see I have taken the RDP of my Windows 11 system from my base system, not from 2022 DC, also from my base system, because my base system is also on a same network, SIPnet. So this is how you can take the RDP of any particular virtual machine. Okay, so this is much more comfortable for me. Okay, so I will sign out as of now. So this is how you can actually take an RDP of your virtual machine. So this completes this particular part. In the next part, we will see how to vMotion our Windows 11CL without putting it off from one ESX host to another one, and then we will check our HA, that is high availability. Means suppose one of the host goes down, still your VM will get transferred to another ESX host. Okay, so those two functionalities we will check into next part. Till then, goodbye.